grade 6. Today we take new chapter 15, lesson 1. Statistical question. Statistical questions here. So we start with this lesson, and before we starting we have to remember something we take it before, how to dealing with bar graph. I give you a table like this and salesperson here, and we have cell phone sold. So we dealing with numbers here, names. How to represent this? I have to put the salesperson here and numbers. So the numbers always the vertical, and the number of the names or description for something will be down. So down is this, up will be down, and down will be up. So I have to represent it here as this form. So I start with 0, 10, 20, 30. I have to make it as pattern here. We add 10 each time and put it with the same order here. So from here it is 30, I make my bar is 30, and the other one to 25, and so on. But we have another type, dot plot. I give you the dot plot as a power number line like this, and dots mean the number of books or students dealing with this books. So I need how many students read fewer than 4. So this is 4. Fewer meaning less. So something here is less than 4, this and this. So I have to count both of the number or all the numbers of the students here. This is about 7 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 2. Now we have 9 students. How many students are in the book club? So I have all of them. So I count all of them. There's 9 here, 10, 13, 14. So 14 students. How many more students read 3 books than 5? So I have to find the difference between 5 and 3 here. So this is 7 and minus 3. So we have 4. So this as revision or something as introduction. So lesson 1 is statistical question. I have to know some definitions. Statistics here, you have to know just more information for you, is a science of collecting or analyzing and interpreting data. So I have to find or collect many data about something. So now we're going to a population is a group. This is important. So a population is a group, such as all 6th grade students, like your class, like your school. School is the big population, but your class supposed to be a small population or sample. Sometimes we make it as sample. Sample is a part of a population. Variability is measure of spread, mean the range. It shows how much data value difference from one another. To answer this statistical question, collect a sample. We have to, for dealing with variability, we have to collect sample, like your class if you remember, or something from maybe your family or something from your population. Sample, which is a small group, like I told you, choosing from a population. Your sample could be 6th grade students or your school. Now, statistical question is a question that can be answered by data that show variability. Mean, to know this is a statistical question or not, I have to make it with difference information, mean with group, many ideas, many things, many difference. Take something here like this example number 1. Decide whether each question is a table, is a statistical question or not. That question has been written, so it is the question here is, what is my favorite color? This is it a statistical question, yes or no? This is it a statistical question here? I don't know. So this I dealing with my favorite. My favorite mean one, not group. So this no. To dealing with a statistical question here, I have to dealing with difference data here. So there is only one possible response, your favorite color, just you. So this not a statistical question. I have to rewrite this to make it as a statistical. I can change this question and to make it as a statistical question here, like change mine with anything with a group like this. What is the favorite color of, meaning many different opinion, on different idea, on different choices here. How tall is my teacher? My teacher mean my, this one person. So this is not also. So there is only one single value, the height of one teacher. So this is not a statistical question. So I have to change how tall are the teachers, not teacher, at my school. So the all teachers. So I have different tools now with many teachers. How many hours did the students in my class? Students, many person, many answers. So different answer for this math test. So this means yes. So I dealing with data are collecting from a group now. We dealing now with group. There should be variability among the number of hours reported. So there's no rewrite because it's already ready for you as statistical question here. How many siblings does each sixth grade student have? So sibling here mean your the number of brother or sister here for you. So this yes, because there's many things, many different answers. So I dealing with a statistical question here. So data are collected from a group. There should be variability among the number of siblings reported. So I think the idea for statistical question, you have to dealing with group, not one single thing. Okay. Now we're going to something else, page 574, and dealing with something with example and definitions, another definitions here. Now we're dealing with categorical data included characteristics such as names, location, personal preference, and occupation. So we have another thing, numerical data or a number. So here with categorical data included here some we can say it as describe something, but here we're dealing with numbers. So we're dealing with numerical data, meaning we're dealing with number. Now let's take this example. Two types of data: collecting answers, statistical question, categorical data, and numerical data. So let's check this example. I color for each student in grade 6. So the type I have to choose one of them. So I color here, this is not number. So this categorical data here, this one, why? Because I dealing with something not number. So each response is color here. So this not numerical. So we're going to another thing like the number of science experiments. So the number of science experiments. So you need the number of the experiments for the science experiment. So this number, so this numerical. So why? Because each response here is a number. The number of science experiment complete. The hours of sleep each grade 6 students get each night. So by dealing with number one, this is numerical. So because what? Because each response here is number. Now the favorite after school activity. He needs the favorite activity. So this categorical data here. So this because it's not number. So this response is a type of activity, not a number. So we know the difference now between categorical data and numerical data. This numerical dealing with number, the other not number, this square. So we're going now to dealing with dot plots. But we have to know distribution of data, the form of this. So we have to know the definition. The distribution of data describes the shape of data set. Distribution can be symmetrical. So we deal with symmetrical and symmetrical. The range is the difference between the highest, the greatest, and lowest, the smallest. The range again, the difference between the highest and lowest data values. So now this my form. This form, if you imagine you make line or curve like this, you have something like bell. You know the bell? So this the form if your dot plot most of the time, especially with distribution of data here. So the study time dot plot has normal distribution. So the normal distribution, a normal distribution is a bell. So this normal distribution because they are symmetrical. Because the number here is look like the other number here. This the center one and you have 4 here, 4 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. Well, someone maybe tell me this one more here. It's not important, but it look like each other because it's symmetrical. The same here and the same here. Okay, so a normal distribution is bell-shaped and symmetric. Remember, with a peak in the center, mean top. This is your top. This is a peak, mean your top here. Okay. Now we're going to this example. So this example is statistical question: how many hours did each student study for? So the dot plots show the data collected to answer the statistical question. The shape of the distribution shows the approximated center and availability of data set. So this is your bell, if you remember. This is your peak, this is your top, and the range, the biggest number minus the smallest number. So 7 minus 0, the answer will be your range. And this normal distribution, because this look like a bell. Okay? Now we're going to many examples. As you practice, page 577. Does the statistical question ask for numerical data or categorical data? Why is the favorite fruits of each customer as a restaurant? So we have to concentrate. He asked about the favorite fruit. So favorite fruit is not number, but this categorical data here. What is the number of hours? Number of hours, clear, number of. So this numerical data. What the number of days last month with no rain? So that you need the number of days. So this number, so this numerical data. Now we're going to another thing. Is the question statistical question? We have to check. So what's the favorite school subject? What is the shoe size each person at my school? What the score did I earn on my last? So I have to deal with, to know this is a statistical question, so I have to check this single or group. I'm dealing with difference value or one value. So what is the favorite school subject of each person? So I'm dealing with many persons here. So that's yes, because I'm dealing with group here or different data here. What is the shoe size of each person? So each here many persons. So I take the size for many persons. So I have to count many different size. So this yes is statistical question here. What the score did I earn, meaning one person or one student dealing with one. So this no, not a statistical question. Rewrite each question here so it is a statistical question. No. So if I'm dealing all of this is not a statistical question, I have to convert it, rewrite it to become something as a statistical question. What is my favorite book? My not a statistical. I have to change something with many persons, each person, many students, and something like this. So I change like what is the favorite books of each of my classroom? Mean each students in my classroom. So I make it with many different favorites here. How many words can I type? So this I. So I have to change. So how many words can each person in my class type on the computer in 1 minute? So I make it as each person. How many years has my teacher taught at my school? My teacher, mean my had one teacher. So I have to change it like this. How many years has each teacher taught at my school? This is clear now. Now we're dealing with dot plot. Now, what does the symbol size represent? So this represents the number of students in our math club. What does the dot at 10 represent? So 10 represent what? Represent the age of youngest, because it's the biggest number here. Sorry, the smallest number here. The smallest number here is the youngest student, but here the older or the big student here. So the 10 mean the smallest number mean the youngest. What are the range and center of the data here? The range is the greatest value minus the smallest value. So 13 minus 10. So the data here range is 3 years. The center is between 11 and 12 because this is the lowest place here between them. How many students are in the math club? So I have to count all these dots So you know the number. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, you found all of them is 11 students. Now we're going to the last part of the last question for you choices. So we're dealing with which question is statistical question. I told you statistical question for the last time. This means we're dealing with difference or many answers. So what time did I wake up? I mean one. So this not statistical. What time did each person? So this my answer because I deal with each person in grade 6 and the other I and my. So the next one I dealing here with dot plots. I need how many students are in the sample. I have to count all of them. I found they are 10. So what is the range? So the range is the greatest value minus the smallest value, the range of the grade. So this 7 minus 1, the greatest minus smallest is 6. Thank you for watching. You have to make your homework, page 171 and page 172, but from 7 till 10. Okay.